What's going on, fellow A-plussers? It's your boy Adam Perez. I'm back once again with a brand new review as we're set to go ahead and talk about the official teaser trailer for the second season of Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. This season is set to go ahead and drop this upcoming August on Prime Video. And if I can be honest, man, I'm really looking forward to it. Now, look, I don't know if you've been following us or how long you've been following us for, but we did go ahead and do a series review, each episode, mind you, for the Rings of Power Season 1. I'll go ahead and put a link to our playlist in the description box below. If it's a season that you want to go ahead and check out before Season 2 winds up dropping, or maybe you've never watched the Rings of Power, but you've kind of been hesitant, not quite sure, if you do decide to go ahead and check out this season, I highly recommend that you follow our episode reviews as well. So I will go ahead and put that in the link below. And aside from an official teaser trailer that we wind up getting today, Prime Video also did go ahead and drop an inside look at the making of season 2. Comes in about 2.5 minutes long. And I got to tell you, man, they are going bigger and bolder than ever, as it seems as though like Sauron is really sort of unleashed this season, if you will. And I'm always open to kind of seeing what changes go into a series. You know, the idea of stepping away from season 1, getting the opportunity to listen to maybe what some of the critics and audience certainly had to say about the show, and certainly course correcting or just making improvements on your show. And so it definitely feels as though, just from the trailer alone, also from the inside look, that they are definitely taking a lot of that certainly into consideration. I think if there was like a big complaint that some people had, maybe it was a little bit too slow moving for them. Maybe the idea of too many main characters or plots kind of going on at once. All certainly understandable issues that I can see why people might have had with the show. But for me personally, I while I can see that, it certainly worked for me, to be quite frank with you. I think when I look back at season 1, the last 3 episodes of the season really just sort of finally sort of start hitting its stride, given some really great sort of character development, some great bait and switches, some character reveals also, and a great push when it comes to the storyline, to be quite frank with you. Before that, I certainly do think that it is a little bit of a slow burn, but great character building and storyline building, so that the payoff at the end of the season certainly makes that much more sense. So for me, it really works, and it's one of the reasons why I'm very eager to go ahead and get into season 2. But look, guys, let's talk about this teaser trailer here a little bit, because there are definitely some characters that I personally am really looking forward to catching up on. Not just Galadriel, but really the man of the hour in Sauron, played by Charles Vickers in here. If you guys recall some of my talking about the character Halbrand that Charlie Vickers wind up playing in season 1, there was just something always off about that dude for me, to be quite frank with you. He always gave off this very creepy vibe, and I can definitely understand now in hindsight, looking back on season 1 and where season 2 is going to take us, why they hired this dude, and why he definitely gave off the vibes that he did. I'm very much under the impression in here that Sauron is now sort of calling his army. We do see some of the goblins and the orcs and things like that. It seems like they're marching to Mordor, if I'm not mistaken. So I will be interested to kind of see where their path and travel certainly lead them, if Sauron is very much kind of getting his pieces in order now that he's kind of reclaimed power and definitely revealed himself to some people at the end of season 1. There's a first off, cinematically, this trailer looks beautiful. You know, that's one of the things that I always enjoyed about the first season, was the set design, the costume design, the creature designs. You feel like you're in the world of Tolkien. You feel like you're in the world of Lord of the Rings. And the budget is certainly there. You know, Amazon is spending a ton of money, and when you look at the season 2 trailer, it does not disappoint whatsoever. I mean, you feel like you're back in this world. There's a great shot towards the end when Sauron sort of flicks his wrist, and then it takes you immediately to Mordor, or at least his Sauron's tower, and you get engulfed by like this huge explosion, and you can almost feel the wind and the impact hitting you as the land starts kind of frosting over. And I absolutely love just the way the logo kind of fades into it as the image itself turns into black. I mean, visually, this trailer has everything. I think the sound is there too. There's a moment in the trailer too where you've got the character in Celebrimbor, who sees this bright light flashing towards him as he's walking towards it. If you're wearing headphones, you can hear the sound kind of bouncing from left to right, left to right. That's really make for a trippy effect when you're listening to it. So the musical score is definitely going to be there. The sound quality is definitely going to be there in season 2. And for me, there's a lot of characters that I really want to learn and find out more about. Arendir, the elf. We see a moment of him teaming up or alongside Isildur, who after the events of season 1, I didn't know what happened to this guy. They didn't even highlight him in like the last season, the season finale whatsoever. Really left his fate with a gigantic question mark next to it. And considering the fact that we are very much in the second age of what's going on in the Lord of the Rings timeline, Isildur certainly has a huge role to play. So I know they definitely didn't kill him off. So I feel like season 2 is definitely going to be a little bit more focused on him. And really, I don't want to say how he comes to power, but how he continues to build himself up, certainly as a character in here. I think Galadriel, for the most part, looks great in here too. I love the shot of her getting ready with her other elf companions alongside her. It looks like they're surrounded by a mist that, if you look closely enough, is starting to either create figures or dark figures are sort of coming out of the mist. So I am kind of curious as to who's approaching her in here, but based off of her own personal mistakes in season 1, I gotta think that she feels some level of accountability as to the idea of Sauron certainly being back, and I really want to see what her message is, how she personally handles it, and is there a journey of forgiveness for herself in some fashion or another. Speaking of Celebrimbor along with Elrond, we do see at the end of season 1 just the creation of brand new rings, and I am kind of curious with the elf's rings sort of now being established. Do we get to see the creation of other rings as well in the second season also? I mean, again, we go on to know that the men wind up getting the ring, getting a couple rings themselves, along with Sauron with the rings of power. So will there be further development in that regards? There are a couple of quick glimpses in here at the mystery man that everybody was wondering about in season 1. He clearly is going to have a big focus in here too, but I'm telling you, man, visually it looks stunning. There's a great shot of people on horses riding towards the scene, riding towards the camera, almost like they're getting ready for a battle. I'm here for it, man. I think Sauron looks fantastic in here. To go from Halbrand to how he looks as Sauron in here with the elfish ears, almost like he has finally fully embraced his own truths and his own sort of identity in here. And again, you get vibes that Sauron is very much going to be making his presence known, that he is in fact back, and this is going to be the idea of really how all the kingdoms sort of handled that new evil and that darkness, as the trailer says, now sort of binds everybody. So I'm pumped for this, man. I truly am. If you have not had the opportunity to see the inside look for season 2, and you're really fascinated to see how it kind of all came together, or even hear some of the cast members talk about it, I will go ahead and put a link in the description box below. But look, guys, we will be reviewing the Rings of Power season 2 once again. And again, if you want to revisit the first season or tackle the first season for the first time, I highly recommend checking out our reviews for each episode, and I will put playlist in the description box below, guys. But that's gonna do it for me. I want to know your thoughts on the Rings of Power Season 2 trailer. Let's talk more about it. If you have any questions or thoughts about Seasons 1 and going into Season 2, let me know your thoughts down below. But until then, do me a big favor, as always, guys. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.